Good evening. Welcome back to Vintage Story. Last time we spawned into Dark Midget World, explored ancient castles, died a lot, and finished off by exploring the archives in Chapter 1. That's where I assumed the game ends, because I didn't pick up the item that advances the story. But you needn't click off to watch all that first, because I'm starting from a new world anyway. The last one, it kinda stinks, and has a generally bad vibe to it I can't really explain. In today's video, I will be exposed to severely depressing info hazards, accidentally making a gas chamber in my basement, and I will attempt to duck hunt my way to victory, to finish Chapter 2 of the game. Now, let us begin. I start off by creating the aforementioned new world. This time I went with Blackguard, since in the last video Archery had a grand total of 0 seconds of screen time. I spawn in and I am immediately mesmerized by the beautiful coastline.
This looks cool as hell, the grass is being ripped out of the ground. It's so windy up here.
After pacing around for a bit and being harassed by a rift in record time,
oh my god, bro, are we serious?
I start getting a creeping suspicion that
something's wrong.
My suspicion would shortly be confirmed when I open the map, only to see that I am in fact on an island. So I start overdosing on copium post-haste, and start swimming towards the nearest island in hopes of it being the mainland.
No, 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 don't do this. Oh my god.
It was not the mainland. Who could have thought that feet pics would make for a bad world generation seed?
I guess feet pics isn't a good seed. You live and you learn.
So I scrapped that and tried again with just foot, since apparently feet pics is way too extra. I spawn into the beautiful world of Dry Midget World, and following in the footsteps of the previous video, I exist for a grand total of 3 seconds before getting assaulted by animals. After crafting a spear with lightning speed and settling this territorial dispute, I run off into the valleys to search for a basing location. It didn't take long for me to find this nice open area, and since last time I was living in a marshy wet area, this time I chose a deserty dry area, right next to this lake's shoreline.
What is this? I'm not making that mistake again. I don't know about this one though, is this dangerous? Turns out it is.
After breaking 3 axes trying to cut down 1 tree, I went back to clayform some vessels and got low-key sick of this whole process, so I downloaded an automatic clayforming mod and spent the rest of my time clayforming on Cloud 9. Then I went to gather sticks for the pit killing business in pitch black darkness. Yes, I am very smart, don't mention it. And found a curious shape in the ground, almost too perfectly circular.
I think there's some funny meteoric iron here. You're goddamn right. You're goddamn right. Okay, to iron to break. Okay, fuck me in the ass.
Little did I know that meteoric iron would be one of the best discoveries I've ever made in this game. But don't get ahead of yourself. First, we need a pickaxe. So, I panned the nuggets while doing my Duolingo lessons.
He doesn't have a fever anymore. Fuck yeah. No, I don't want your fucking ad, Duolingo. Shut up.
Introduced myself to the wildlife and created a charcoal pit. Then my neurons temporarily stopped functioning, or well, I don't have a better explanation for this, because I had the idea to attempt cutting down a redwood. Attempt is the key word, because 2 stone axes didn't even get half of the tree, let alone the whole thing. After that failure, I boiled myself some copper with the charcoal and acquired a copper pick. It's no tier 4 pickaxe, but it's enough to perform some cave diver roleplay and ruin exploration. Before I can even go moderately deep though, a gas station tweaker catches me lacking with no armor and jumps at the opportunity to kill me. I resurrect myself and hightail it back into the cave, where I quickly grow frustrated from a lack of copper ore.
My copyrights have been revoked, apparently.
During my search, I bump into this ruin, and as I'm about to enter, a bell kindly notifies me that it has performed a hostile takeover here, and I should piss off. As a side note, I am honestly convinced that this enemy was designed by the collaborative efforts of Satan and
Jeffrey Epstein.
Apart from them knowing if you have violated their 15-block restraining order at all times, they have 100 HP. Now that doesn't mean a lot, but to put it into perspective, the flint spears I'm using have 32 durability and do 2 damage. This means it would require 1.5 flint spears just to kill 1 bell. So I search elsewhere and find the copper vein. Then I built an outline for the house, and then I went back to the ruin in hopes of it being bell-free this time. That little shit despawned, so I took a look around, found the globe, trust me this is vitally important for a future video, and scraped some concrete off the walls to use for my own house. At home, I made some bronze tools and an anvil, and got just a little bit carried away making a house. It's a bit of an improvement compared to the last one, huh? But anyway, the interior is gonna need some fire clay for the ovens, so I went to this bauxite desert to find some, and while I was there, I checked in with this trader. I asked if he had any interesting locations to share, but the Triple G merchant network is still going strong since last video, so he would gatekeep the ancient tomb's location until I bring him a meteoric iron knife. This is probably gonna be important in some future video, but not this one, because after 5 minutes I completely forgot that this quest even exists. That's gonna have to wait some more, but until then I got the fire clay, created ovens, bloomeries, and the first medieval man cave to ever exist. Now, in this game, the difference between living in a house and living in the illusion that you're living in a house is very thin. Fans gates don't exactly work as windows, like they do in Minecraft, so I was forced to make some glass. Upon firing up the bloomeries, the realization washes over me that I have just set myself up for the most lethal carbon monoxide poisoning in history.
I don't even... Oh, I forgot how to breathe! Don't know how to breathe!
As if the misfortune of accidentally creating a gas chamber in my own house wasn't enough, I found out that glass panes cannot exist without lead paint in Vintage Story. This is kind of a problem. Either the developers have a PhD in geology, or they are just a huge fan of 19th century prospecting, but the ore generation in this game is so unnecessarily realistic. I mean, just look at this, man! Basically, Galena ore only spawns in sedimentary rock, and here's a glaring issue when you realize that in a 90-kilometer radius, there's only igneous rock. So I journeyed to the shale area, dug down, and I'm pretty sure I burst a few blood vessels in my eyes from trying to distinguish galena from shale. Editing me can raise the exposure, so you can actually see what the fuck I'm mining, but I did not have this luxury. And like some kind of blind mole man, I had to use the tooltips at the top to see if I'm mining galena or not. Then it is as simple as boiling it, casting it, crafting and placing the windows, and I have finally graduated from being a homeless vagrant. Now that I will no longer get visits from government agents trying to install anti-homeless architecture in my property, we can focus on important things like watching the end of the world, one temporal storm at a time.
Oh lord, oh no. Oh no. Big fella coming through. Big fella coming through.
And blooming iron ore. This isn't exactly a brisk process, so I went to explore a bit, and using the map I found this temple thing. The unfortunate combination of me getting mauled by a tier 3 shiver at the entrance, and the temple being all flooded and shit heavily dissuaded me from exploring it, so I walked away. On my way back home, I talked to the luxuries trader again, and this time I chose a different dialogue option, which prompted him to offer me a map for a globe. Wow, gee, I wonder where I could get that from. And another map for the Forlorn Hope Tower in exchange for just 10 gears, what the fuck? Well, okay, I'm not complaining. Now, what I am complaining about, though, is my least favorite part of iron making. Taking the crusty-ass iron pieces and hammering them into bars. On top of basic tools, I also made a shield, because I'm 99% convinced that that tower is gonna have some nasty shit in it. With the iron pickaxe, I can now mine meteoric iron, So I returned to the scene of the crime where I cracked open this meteor hours ago. The raw pieces need to be bloomed like iron ore, so I go coal mining to preserve our charcoal reserves for steel, and then I quickly realize why this is the best metal in the entire game. It has an incredibly high piece-to-bar conversion rate, has even more durability than regular iron, and it mines faster too? Fucking hell, where have you been all my life, meteoric iron? The only negative thing I can say about it is that it's ugly as fuck. But as always, there is a mod that remedies it by turning it purple and blue! A grand total of like maybe one person will understand that reference, but I'm keeping it in anyway. What was I saying? Whatever, I took up beekeeping as an extremely part-time job. What makes it extremely part-time? Because it isn't going to have any more screen time in the entire video. I just felt like mentioning it. So I forgot about it, and did some more meteoric iron stuff. Then I went to give the trader his 10 gears for the Forlorn Hope Tower map. And if I were to say that discovering the location of this tower shattered my morale into pieces, then I would be underselling it. Yep, you're seeing that correctly, that is 10,000 blocks. Fucking excellent, just what I was hoping for. To keep the pain train rolling, I go up to this trader and bribe him for the location of a treasure hunter. But much to my bewilderment, he's actually not that far away, kinda like in the neighboring suburbs. And so my retarded brain immediately goes, "Ooh, would you look at that, it's convenient." And I just start booking it towards this guy. Like, what am I even trying to do here, man? I've got no bronze pick, I got no gears, no bitches, no nothing. Anyway, back on the topic of productive things, I fetched the globe from the ruin for the luxuries trader, and I guess the war casket too, it looked pretty nice. And when I gave it to him, he pointed out a marking on the globe that marks a university. I get the map, and as I right-click it to reveal the university's location, the despair quickly returns.
Oh my god, it's another 10,000 blocks. Holy shit. This hurts my soul deeply.
I figured what better way to postpone these journeys and chill out than to build a garden. And I couldn't have been more wrong. There is no chilling to be had here. Because, you guessed it, you need a degree in farming for this shit. There are 4 different flavors of the earth. Low, medium, and high fertility soil, along with terra preta. I mean, I guess there's also barren soil, but
We don't care.
each one has 3 sub-flavors. Nutrients N, P, and K. Each plant only consumes one type of nutrient, however, the nutrient regeneration of the soil is not enough to offset it. A really easy way to understand this is to think of yourself as a super senior, cracking freshmen and passing them around. Now, apply that logic to farming, and just pass your crops to another field once the nutrients in your original field get low. Alright, that was a fun break, but time to get back on the grind and prepare for the tower. The preparation is very simple. Food and armor. For armor, I will be using chain made from meteoric iron, because it's easy to get and it has good protection. Slight problem is that even though I have a shitload of reserve meteoric iron, it's not enough. That's why we do a little digging.
Start digging, twin.
Roger that.
And blooming too, but this wasn't even the worst part of the entire process. The worst part is smithing and hammering all 40 of the ingots into chains. This took at least 30 minutes, kill me right now.
Get it, David. Come on. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Energy. Let it out. 7, 8, 9, 10. A machine here. There you go. Nobody works like David in this house. 13. Come on. 14. Come on. 15. Shut that muscle down. 16. Come on. Get it. 17.
Well, the armor looks kinda ass cheeks, but I can't slander its protection. For food, I just made some pies and then set off to cross the 10,000 block journey. When I started nearing the main attraction, I looked up to find these hideously disfigured northern lights that are probably going to kill the YouTube bitrate. In an effort to fix this, I paused the footage and searched Reddit for a solution. This was a mistake, not only because I went on Reddit, but because I only remembered to unpause the recording when I was already done exploring half of the first tower. I unpaused the recording when I found the leg and helmet pieces of the Forlorn Hope armor set. You can find both broken and damaged versions in ruins. With 3 steps and enough materials, you can restore it to its former glory. It's on par with iron plate armor for being way less labor intensive, so it's pretty dope. I climb further up the tower, get jump scared by a nightmare shiver, and the bell as well, but there's nowhere for the enemies to spawn, so he kinda gets the same treatment as Jack Doherty without his bodyguard. My reward for this double homicide is another piece of the damaged puzzle, the breastplate. Then I notice the subtle hints that my character is slowly turning into
Boy pussy ice pops?
So my inner Don't Starve player bursts out, I make a campfire with record speed, and I return to livable body temperatures. 1 floor up, I peek inside this chest to find some lore papers, a broken breastplate, and a map to quite possibly the most hellish location I have ever explored in this entire game, the Forlorn Hope Bastion. I reach the top and see that the only thing it can offer me is a beautiful view, so I climb back down to the bottom and quickly run home, because the crisp negative 40-degree weather is just a bit too cold for my tastes. I waste no time, and after dropping off the loot at home, I start heading to the Bastion, but get interrupted by a very interesting find midway.
Whoa, what the f... How did I not see that through the trees? Dude, this is fucking massive. Alright, there's a statue of, like, vintage story Hitler. You're so funny. Dude! It's teleporting locusts.
Around this time, I also started inexplicably lagging, probably due to the Plains and Valleys World Gen mod, and this started pissing me off just a little bit.
Well, okay, dude, if I wasn't fucking lagging, maybe... Dude, you're such a piece of shit! Fuck! Dude, fuck this fucking game. I'm so done.
Now, if I didn't have healing, I would have definitely died and punched a hole through my monitor. After exploring the inside, I can't say I found many interesting things. I mostly just got rage baited by the enemies and the traders not shutting up.
I don't give a fuck about me. You say your wife's name one more time, I'ma delete all that motherfucking money.
Back to the main attraction though. The Bastion was also submerged in a thick layer of ice. Props to the mod devs, because these ruins are gorgeous. And that's about where the good things I have to say about this ruin end. Because there's rubble at the end of every hallway, where it's a 50% chance that it's either the main path or there's jack shit behind it. There are invisible hitboxes everywhere, and behind every corner there are tier 4 enemies and locusts permeating every orifice of the ruin. When God sings with his creations, locusts will not be a part of the choir. Then I descend down a few levels, get tortured by more locusts, and find these catacombs. I'm gonna need you to remember this altar at the back. The only way forward is blocked by rubble, so I try to mine it and almost go into cardiac arrest when this rock falls on me and jump scares the fuck out of me. Behind the rubble is an endless wave of locusts, shivers, and a sniper. But then I am rewarded with the final piece to the puzzle, a damaged Forlorn Hope helmet. This is not where this hell ends though, as upon excavating this blockade, I am met with even more hallways. And then a labyrinth segment. Cause why the fuck not, let's get that in here as well. And more locusts, don't forget about the locusts. But after fumbling around in there, I eventually get to the exit.
Is this it? Did I find the Forlorn Hope, perhaps? What even is this place? Forlorn Hope S-Stock? Gold Shield? Are you kidding me? Okay. Hope and Joy and Whimsy restored. My god, this is a cool fucking statue. Can I somehow bring this home? No, I can't. It's a multi-block chisel structure. Killing me. Okay, you know what? I take it all back. This place is fucking goated. I take it all back. Okay, let me just admire. Okay, there's a tunnel. Well, it does the same amount of damage. Is it? It's literally the same thing. I mean, it looks cool. It matches my armor set better than whatever this disgusting sword is. 90, 20, 5 HP damage absorbed when blocked. Are you joking? It's way better.
Well, there's only one place left to go. The tunnel at the back. where I found this secret room. Breaking these blocks revealed that this is actually connected to the catacombs. This means I could have skipped all that AIDS if my smooth opossum brain had just mined 2 blocks here. Oh well, what's done is done, and after arriving home I decided to call it quits for the day. The next day I woke up feeling all ancient and antique and shit, so I manufactured a bronze pickaxe to trade for the archive map. Unlike last time, I decided to go all out with the armor, aka restoring the Forlorn Hope armor set. For this, we need 4 gold plates, so 8 gold ingots, which is way more than we have. You might think this to be an easy endeavor, but because the developers are natural-born evildoers, gold only spawns in quartz. There is no standalone gold ore, which means you have to pretty much excavate the whole vein for any reasonable amounts of gold ore. Put iron plates, gold plates, and the damaged pieces together, and we've got that forlorn drip unlocked. Afterwards, I hand in the map exchange and see that the distance to the archive is really not that bad. Just a brisk 5,000 blocks, not even saying it ironically this time. I proceeded to speedrun the archives. I'm not gonna talk about it much now, since I already did it last time. And in that last time, the boss whooped my ass. But now I had full tier 3 armor with a shield.
I got the finishing hit. What is this? Something, the treasure hunt. I didn't even get this last time.
Instead of crying about the lack of loot, I go and actually listen to the library resonator. The voices inside my head listed 5 names: Nadia, the Spoils, the Lazaret, Cardinals, and Quiet. With no better lead on the main story, I go back to the treasure hunter to perhaps show him the brown books of doom. He asks about the names but doesn't know shit about them except for the tainted Lazarus. He hands me a piece of paper with the location, but then his telemarketer genes kick in and prompts him to offer me an elk for the low price of 100 gears, which he then lowers to 50 in exchange for the weird box. The Lazaret's location is not even that bad. I almost found it by accident when looking for the tower. Then I make my purchase, spend 10 minutes fucking around with the elk, first off finding it in the darkness, second off figuring out how to put the saddle on the elk was more complicated than fingering a girl in complete darkness. But through trial and error I got it, and the elk would be a huge upgrade, because in general it's really fast and it drains no extra hunger for running. If it weren't for the fact that if you're riding it in a forest, may God have mercy on your soul, because the hitboxes won't. Plus, it makes some absolutely horrifying noises. If I heard this shit alone in a forest at night, you wouldn't catch me going outside ever again. Anyway, it's time for some heavy technological advancements, with a coke oven, copper nickel, rift ward, and the terminus teleporter, which essentially just teleports you to your death location, but I never had any use for it because I'm just that good.
Do me a favor, shut the fuck up.
Then I spent way too much time building this windmill so that we can get mechanical power, so that we can pulverize things, so that we can make refractory bricks, so that we can make steel. If it feels like I'm skipping a lot, that's because I am, and I don't want this video to be 5 hours long. I'm sure you guys would love it, but it's way above my pay grade for now. With the refractory furnace built, the most complex part is done. Now we just bury some iron ingots in charcoal and light a flame in the land down under. That's it for steel. Now we just wait a terribly long amount of time. More precisely, that is way too much free time, so I made a night vision helmet out of boredom and started prepping for the Lazaret. But what more preparation could I have besides full armor and the highest damaging sword in the entire game, I hear you ask? Well, you know, a gun. That's right, boyos, we're making a musket. That's the whole reason I've been making steel. Not because of plate armor. Are you kidding me? You know how expensive that shit is? Hell no. Instead, we're revolutionizing warfare. Now, if you have a functioning brain, you would know that firing a 17th century firearm requires 3 things: lead projectiles, which I already made, gunpowder, and a cloth patch to separate the two. The most complex is gunpowder, which is made by turning crushed sulfur, saltpeter, and charcoal into blasting powder, which you then vet, dry, and then crush. Just in time for the carburization of the steel to finish. So I break the coffin and get blister steel? What the fuck? Oh yeah, I forgot, nothing is simple in this game. It's the same procedure as iron blooms. Then I craft a powder flask to hold the gunpowder, turn the steel into gun parts, and we can finally commit gun violence in Vintage Story. It really brings a tear to my eye. I also equipped the musket with a bayonet, because getting caught reloading this thing would not be a fun experience. But just look at the reload time. Time for the lazaret. I'ma be honest with you, the first level didn't have much besides tweakers and the skeleton, and the second level had pretty much the exact same thing, except also scribbles of mind-broken people, and the skeleton had a ladder, which had the directions to a village about 8,000 blocks from here, making this the longest journey I have ever traversed. At the village, I find this Gerhardt guy, who tells me that he's kind of illiterate and I should search for someone else in uncovering the letter's mystery. This villager ping-pong continues until I find Agnieszka, who gives me a map to Tobias, and Gerhardt then gives me a map to the Devastation. How spooky. The map instructs me to only seek Tobias when I have a lens in my possession. I kinda zone out, but it becomes immediately obvious when I start nearing the Devastation, because the sky takes on the color scheme of a used toilet bowl. In the middle of this tetanus biome is a huge fractured tower, and when approaching it I gain the ability to traverse time.
Why do I have this kind of power? What am I?
This is the main game mechanic with which you're supposed to get into the tower, but I'm not great at commentating puzzles, so I'll just skip to when I'm inside.
What the fuck? Okay, you know what? I think I wasn't actually over-preparing, I was more like adequately preparing. That sounds friendly and nice and good and totally friendly and fine. Whatever the hell that just made that noise. Mad Crow. Huh? Oh. That's nice. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Can I gun his ass down? I'm guessing not. You having trouble there, bro? Taking away significantly from your intimidation factor.
Inside the tower, thankfully, you can unlock the door as a shortcut to the outside, which is great. However, the elevator that serves as a shortcut to the upper floors duplicated itself and doesn't work, which is not great. I can't lie, this Parker segment was awful. And to make it even worse, halfway through, the bird managed to unstuck itself and started firing volleys of feathers at me. At the top, I waited for daytime and generated a backup.
Give me that. Whoa. Come here, you fat overweight avian. Offhand should be empty. Oh my god, bro. Don't... Okay. Don't mind me. Don't mind me, bro. Do not charge at me. Don't charge at me. Don't charge at me. He's charging at me. Well, he's going up. I don't know if I should be concerned about that. There you go. What the fuck was I even supposed to do against that? Fuck off. Watch this long ass fucking piece of animation. Finish. I'm reloading the backup, I don't care. And the game crashed anyway. That's beautiful.
The first attempt was not successful, since all the molding in the Parker made me forget that I have armor, I have a shield, and I have a death teleporter at home. So, like a clown shoot idiot, I end up loading the backup. I set my spawn point before the second attempt, and it goes way better.
Okay, ready for round one. You guys didn't see anything. That's first attempt. Okay, nice shot, good shot. Okay, I just ran into that head first. You know what? Fuck this. I can actually do that? Oh, wait, hold on. What the fuck? Okay, hold up. Time out for a second. Let me just reload my musket real quick. And also, you know, let's get in a snack too. Just because I can. Hey bro, what's good? This game is so stupid.
With this newfound revelation, I had no problem bursting down the crow.
Wanna fuck with me?
And after the final shot, he kinda just scurried off into the devastation like he had left his stove running. That's all the interesting parts of Chapter 2. I also brought the lens to Tobias, but he just spoke some cryptic bullshit along a few racist remarks and told me to wait until the devs drop Chapter 3. Alright, that's it for Vintage Story. I've officially exhausted all content apart from challenges in this game. Next episode of this is gonna drop when the devs release Chapter 3 and 4. Until then, I guess I'll make a poll for the next game.
Sorry for vetoing the previous poll, by the way. I just didn't feel like playing RimWorld at the time. But now I do. However, that idea that I have right now... Okay, so basically I have two ideas. One, you've already saw from the poll. It's Helen Keller versus RimWorld. That's fine, I can do that. However, the other one, I need some help with, because I'm gonna be honest, the RimWorld Discord has not been very helpful at all. Like, they just kind of expected me to know how to change the .dll files, and I have no fucking idea how to do that, so if anyone can tell me in the comments, I would be very thankful.
I have no idea when this video is gonna release, so Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that. As always, subscribe, like, comment, whatever you want. Life is yours to choose after all. Finally, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.